Tafshin Nun Beis. We will begin only an excerpt of it. This is said all around the time, Shabbos Mars Mishpatim, before Chav Beis Shevat, and there was like a few sikhs that they combined together about this topic. And we will start from the second column, 2 paragraphs in the bottom, Ois Yud Aleph. Al pi hanal Yuvan, מדוע חידש לחב בישבט מסבט דווקא בנגיע להסתלקותו של ביטו שכבוד קריסטוס מוירחם מאדמו"ר נשיא דורנו. Why is it specifically the novelty of the 22nd Shvat, which the Rebbe in the Sikha spoke about, that has to do with Dir B'Tachtoinim, especially the Dir B'Tachtoinim, it's a hemshech to Friedrich Rebbe. Why does it have to do specifically with the daughter of the Friedrich Rebbe? Just like in the redemption from Mitzrayim. The Chazal said, that in the merit and as a reward of the righteous women that was in that generation of the Yidden that were in Mitzrayim, the Yidden were redeemed from Mitzrayim. So too it's concerning the future redemption. Inshallah, concerning the future redemption, it says, like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. So therefore, just like the pasuk compares the going out of the final Geulah, Moshiach's Geulah, with the Geulah's Mitzrayim, so therefore this applies also concerning this idea that it's in the merit of the righteous women, Shatia B'schar B'schus, it will be as a reward and the merit of the righteous women of that generation. Like Chazal also say, Ein hadoyrus nigolim ella b'schar noshim tzidkani sheyesh b'doyr, that the generations are only to be redeemed only by the reward of the meritorious women, the righteous women that's in the generation. And so that's not just about the time of Mitzrayim, but it's all generations. And now he goes on further. This is especially so. According to what it's explained in the writings of the Arizal, that the Arizal speaks a lot about Gilgulim, reincarnation, etc. That he said, Shedoir ha'achron begolus, the final generation of exile, in other words, our generation, who Gilgul shall doir yoytze Mitzrayim, is a reincarnation of the generation of those that went out of Mitzrayim. So just like in those that went out of Mitzrayim, it was the merit of the righteous women of the Noshim Tzidkaniya, so too our generation, which is an reincarnation of that generation, we will also go out of Geulah in the merit of the righteous women. Going to the next page, page 260, the second page, which you have opened up hopefully from your WhatsApp. This is one of the reasons for the effort, the unique effort that my father-in-law, the leader of our generation, put in in the education and directives and direction given for Jewish women and Jewish girls, b'chol inyanin yadus, in all matters of Yiddishkeit, Torah mitzvah, Torah and its mitzvahs, koilo, including balimut Torahs achsidus, that he directed them in the study of teachings of chassidus, v'afotz samayonis chutza, and the spreading of the well springs outward. How come? Why was he at that felt that importance? Being that he is the final generation of the exile, the first generation of the redemption, it matters then even more so the service of Jewish women and daughters, and their merit, the redemption will come about. So the Rebbe goes on to say, if this matter was important, that they would bring the Geulah concerning all Jewish women and girls, how much more so concerning the daughter of the leader of our generation himself, that was educated by the leader of our generation, etc. Even after her departing from this world, her influence continues. This is especially so. Many Jewish girls, Nikrois al Shema, are called by the Rebbetzon's name. And through the way they act, they are now a living example, as living souls in living bodies. They were educated in her spirit and by her directives, and similar to her, as the daughter of the leader of our generation. Let us, according to this, we could say, the reason for this, that after the 22nd of Shevat, the day of the passing of the Friedrich Rebbe's daughter, Nifal Hashlav Ha'achron Ba'achonas Ha'olam, was effected the final stage in preparing the world, Kedir Lo Yizbarach B'tachtoinim, as a home for Hashem down here below, La Geulah, for the redemption, Ki Shleimus Inyan Zeh, because the completion and perfection of this, Nasa Ideu B'schar Sheu B'nai Yisrael, this will happen through and as a reward for Jewish women and girls. Because the Rebbe earlier in the Fabrengen spoke about that there's and he's going to elaborate upon this more now, that there's like two ideas and two aspects of what is accomplished in the Dir B'tachtoinim, in Hashem having a home down here below. Specifically, the term that's used is a home. A home indicates much more than just like some people like to translate dira, just a dwelling place. A home is a place that's lived in, and the home has to be made a comfortable place. And to make a place comfortable, that is the job of the woman. So in addition to being a home, it is also the women that make Hashem have a home that is beautiful and comforting and welcoming. So the bottom of the first column on the second page, Yud Beis, the advantage and quality of Jewish women and daughters in the avodah, in the service of making a home for the Eibishter down here below. Skip the parentheses. Tuvim behagdim toises bir ba'amar le'el oides ha'avodah da'asiyas dir b'tachtoinim will be understood by having an additional explanation in what we spoke about earlier in the Sikha about the avodah of making a home for Hashem down here below. Top of the second column. Since our sages use specifically the term a home below, he doesn't say a house, he doesn't use other terms, he used specifically home. It's therefore understood that one could understand the content of what Hashem wanted over here by comparing it to the home of a person in this world. The fact that a person down here below has a home is a result of the idea of a home above. Because Hashem wanted a home, and because Hashem has a concept of a home, that's why a human being has a home in a certain manner. So that home in a certain manner that a human being has gives us an insight and a way to understand the home of Hashem. Roim bepashtus, we see simply though a home can only be made from a specific place that is appropriate for a human being to live in. So that's the first thing, that it has to be, it has to have four walls, it has to have a roof, it has to have certain basic components to make it a home. The ultimate or the perfection of a home is when it's a beautiful home, in kelim noim, with beautiful furniture and vessels, till what the Rebbe is now quoting a Maimer Chazal, that three things broaden the mind of a person, And Elohein, these are the three things. Dira no, v'isha no, v'kelim noim. A beautiful home, a beautiful woman, and beautiful vessels or furniture, as the Rebbe is going to explain, all of these three things by Hashem. And this is all a result of the Isha Na. The Isha Na is the beautiful woman in her approach, etc., makes the home beautiful, etc. So he said, Meres, that means, Shebedira v'pashtus yeshnam beis inyan. In the simple sense of a home, there's two components, two aspects. Aleph, dira betela legamri lebal hadira shebdorba. First of all, the home is completely nullified to the one who lives in the home. Kol prote adira kidaboy mishamshim oisei. All the details and aspects of the home are to service and to serve the one who lives in the home, the one who occupies the home. And in the home's occupant, that is how the entire being and purpose of all the items of the home find and express what they are about. They are all about being in service of the person who lives in the home. Beis hadira no marchiva daita shalodam. The beautiful home broadens the mind of the person. So we have two things: how the home is sublimated to the person that lives in it, and at the very same time it helps the person that lives in it. In a similar vein, it's understood concerning Hashem's home down here below. Shleimus hadira, the perfection of the home. Udavke kishidira noim keum noim. It's specifically when it's a beautiful home with beautiful furniture. Nois v'lakach shayehudi atzmoi misnagboi from no. In addition to the fact that the Jew himself acts in a beautiful way. Karoi l'knes Yisrael isha no, as it's appropriate for Knes Yisrael, who's considered Hashem's wife, that she acts like a beautiful woman. This is by doing Torah mitzvahs. This means to say, in addition to the fact that we make from what is below a home for Hashem in a manner that's necessary according to the letter of the law, we also make the home for Hashem a beautiful home. Like the ruling of the halacha brought down the Rambam, everything that is done for the sake of Hashem, who is good, it has to be from the most beautiful and from the best. If he builds a shul, which should be more beautiful than his own home. This is my God, and I will beautify him. He's not a lefon of mitzvahs. Become beautified before him with mitzvahs. I say lefon of sukkah, make before him a beautiful sukkah, v'lulav na, and a beautiful lulav, top of 261, the third page, v'chulu. So too it's understood concerning the general service of making a home below. It has to be in such a way that it's everything that we're making for Hashem into a home has to be beautiful. This is not just for our perfection, for the perfection of the things down here below. This also matters to the one who is the occupant of the home, the owner of the home. Dira na, a beautiful home, broadens the mind of the supernal man, metaphorically speaking. So just like we say down here that a beautiful home broadens the mind and the person that lives in the home down here, so too in the spiritual home that we make for Hashem, by making it a beautiful home, this kaviyachol makes a broadening in Hashem's mind as well. Now we're going to skip over to the next page, not the top of page 262, but on page 262, the fourth page of the copies. We're going to go down to the bottom of the first column, Yudalit. It will be understood, according to the above, the connection with Jewish women and daughters. We see in actuality, in the simple meaning of a home, the primary beauty of the home and the furniture and vessels, both the physical beauty and the spiritual beauty, totally be'isha akeres habayis. It's dependent upon the woman who's the mainstay of the home. As it's known, the idea of beauty and the capability to make things beautiful is uniquely the domain of the woman. Ishana, a beautiful woman, Kala na v'chasuda, a beautiful and gracious Kala, Acheina Isha el yoifi, that the woman is only for beauty, meaning yoifi beruchni is top of the second column on 262. Beauty in the spiritual, from this comes down by chain descent, beauty in the material and the physical sense. The Rebbe says that we could say this derived from the fact that this is also in the service of making a home for Hashem down here below. That in Jewish women and girls is dependent, the primary portion of the avodah of making the home for Hashem, that there should be shatia dira na in kelim naim. It should be a beautiful home with beautiful furniture and vessels. In other words, the beautification of the home for Hashem, that is primarily, the Rebbe says, the women's domain. Like it's emphasized specifically in the three primary mitzvahs, that on them is supported every Jewish home, Hadlokas Neir Shabbos Kodesh Yom Tov, the kindling of Shabbos and Yom Tov candles, Kashrus Hachil V'Shtia, the kashrus, the kosher status of one's food and drink, V'Taras and Mashpocha, and family purity, Rosh Tevis Hachein, the Rosh Tevis of the idea of the word Hachein includes Rosh Tevis for these three things, and Chen, which is graciousness, has to do also beauty, yoifi v'noi. So the Rosh Tevis even of these mitzvahs have to do with it as well. Mitzvahs elu poelois sheyia noisef l'dir lois baruch dachtoinim, that these mitzvahs affect, in addition, that should be a home for Hashem down here below. In addition to that, that should be a dirana, a beautiful home, v'kelim noim, and beautiful both furniture and dishes and so on, chadurim b'yoifi ruchni v'gashmi, permeated with both spiritual beauty and physical beauty, shall kashrus tara v'kedusha, of the kosher and purity and holiness, which is something that is connected with these mitzvahs. The Rebbe says in the footnote that the through kosher eating and drinking becomes a change in the very nature of the person that eats and drinks these kosher foods and kosher drinks, since it becomes the person's own blood and flesh. And the same thing the Rebbe says, how much more so when it comes to family purity, that the whole purity and beauty in family life, both physically and materially, comes about from it. And also the same thing, kindling Shabbos candles, that brings the light of Kedusha into the home. Last paragraph on the fourth page of the copies, so too concerning another area where the women bring the beauty to Hashem's home, is in the education of sons and daughters. It establishes the foundation of the life of every person. So we see in actuality that their education is dependent upon the mother. Ubefrat hachinuch, top of the fifth page, 263, v'adrocha shel yeladim ktanim, especially the education and the direction of small children. Ukichol shekotin yoser, and the smaller a child is, he told us be'eim gedoli yoser, the dependency on their mother is even greater. He machdira behem eisi yosim ktanim chayes v'ruach shel yadus. She permeates in them from when they were small, vitality and the spirit of Yiddishkeit. On this foundation, they grow up. Sons and daughters are involved in Torah and its mitzvahs, b'shleimus, completely, beruchnis, b'gashmis, spiritually and materially in a beautiful way. This means to say, that the children should be involved in Torah mitzvahs in an ordinary, normal fashion. The mother brings in and permeates within them the enjoyment and the warmth. Along with the softness, the refinement and the love that is specifically found in the nature of Jewish women and girls, that the way they are involved in Torah mitzvahs should be in a beautiful and good manner. In such a way that we're able to point upon these children and say that they are the ones that are beautiful in their adornment of Hashem. Like it's seen, for example, by Minuk Toiv Shel Imois Yehudis, in the good custom of Jewish mothers to sing to their small children while they're still in the crib. They sing them a lullaby. The Torah is the best thing, the sweetest thing, the most beautiful thing. It's supposed to say, they flipped around the gimel and the base, that this influences a child even after he matures. Like the pasuk says, Gam ki yaskin lo, even when he becomes older, he will not turn away from it. Ava pnimius, an inner love, yoiker, and to feel a preciousness, klapik kol ha'inyanim, the Torah mitzvahs, towards all matters of Torah mitzvahs. Tesvav, ha'inyan shalachdoras yoifi na ba'adira b'chol inyanin yadus, the idea of permeating beauty in the home and in all matters of Yiddishkeit. Roim begoli b'mitzvahs adlokas neiris Shabbos kodesh v'yom tov. We see in the revealed way in the mitzvah of kindling Shabbos and Yom Tov candles. Through a woman and daughter from the Jewish people, kindle a holy light, a holy candle for the honor of Shabbos and Yom Tov. In bracha, while making a bracha, she permeates in the home a light of holiness, and warmth, and she brings in beauty into the home. Shemeir umiyape kol habayis, top of the second column, that it illuminates and beautifies the entire home. V'chol bnei habayis, and also all the family members, all the household. V'gamas habal v'sabonim, even the husband and the sons. Im neir mitzvah v'toira oir, she permeates them with the candle, which is a mitzvah, and the Torah, which is the light. Kol in yom Torah mitzvah, all matters of Torah and its mitzvahs. Beginning from the fact through the woman kindling the Shabbos candles, she is the first one to bring in the day of Shabbos to all the household. Only after the woman has lit the Shabbos candles comes the ma'ariv davening of the husband and the kiddush of the husband. So she is the initiator of bringing Shabbos into the home. The uniqueness and novelty of the candles of Shabbos and Yom Tov is a poil that affects that it should be a beautiful home. In such a way it's revealed to eyes of flesh. Every person can see how the home becomes illuminated with the light that shines from the candles. The Rebbe in other places speaks about that land, that even though every mitzvah brings light into the world, but the greatness about Neir Shabbos Kodesh is that it brings the light into the world, that it's not just a spiritual divine light that's not visible to the naked eye, but it actually manifests itself in physical light that's visible to everyone. The Rebbe says, 2 paragraphs on the bottom of the page, this is one of the reasons that 248 mitzvahs esed, skip the parentheses, im beizay yadayim, with the 2 hands. If you add 248 plus 2, representing the 2 hands, skip the parentheses again, heim begematria neir, are the numerical equivalent of the word neir. Neir meaning a candle. Ki badlokas neir misbatas begoli hashlemus tekim kol mitzvahs, because through kindling the candle it expressed in a revealed way the perfection of the fulfillment of all mitzvahs. The candle is a manifestation of that light that all mitzvahs brings in. Last lakadosh baruch hu dirin noah b'tachtoinu, to make for Hashem a beautiful home down here below. In the parentheses he mentioned that the 2 hands represent the love and awe with which all mitzvahs are permeated. Last line, Tazayin, U'lehoisev shezem merumas gam b'shem hanifteris, last page 264, Chayim Mushka, that it's the 2 names, Chayim Mushka, Shemoira al Chayis v'reich b'samim. The Rebbe explained the name Chayis and the word vitality, life. And Mushka is a type of pleasant perfume and scent. So he says, it should be able to be a beautiful home. The home has to have vitality. Should be a lively home, a lebedikishtub. The vitality is in addition to the thing itself. You could do something without life and lifeless, but then you do it in a lively way. Not only does one make the home a lively place, but there should be a smell of a beautiful scent, of nice perfume, good and beautiful scent, both spiritually and materially. That adds even more so in the beauty of the home. Just like the candles of the Shabbos candles act, the light of the Shabbos candles add to the beauty of the home. You say to be a Shabbos, with even greater emphasis when it comes on a Shabbos, that idea of Shabbos is about the light. In a similar vein, also in the spiritual sense of things, that a beautiful home is dependent on the fact that it should be both the avodah of liveliness, chayes pnimi, v'koiches pnimi, what the Chassidus is called. It's an inner and internalized and permeating liveliness of the inner soul powers. Both the avodah of mushka, which has to do with scent. Scent, Chassidus connects with the transcendent soul powers all the way up to the highest level of the soul, yichida, the level of delight, which has to do delight and enjoyment has to do with beauty. This effect, in addition to having a home down here below in general, like we said before, that a home is sublimated to the person that lives in the home. So the same thing, the world has to be sublimated to Hashem. In addition to that, Nasis didn't know it becomes a beautiful home, like it's also in the simple sense. That of the beautiful scent, in the simple sense of this spice, of this perfume called mushka, affects in the whole house, that it should be a beautiful scent and a beautiful spirit. Such type of beauty, that it causes the soul to return, and the soul derives pleasure from it. This is the point that why we smell the spices by Havdalah. It's because the soul is sad over the departure of the extra neshama that comes on Shabbos. So we do something that the soul appreciates, which is giving it a good scent. So this is the idea of a good scent brings down the soul into the world. This broadens the mind of a person. This permeates, especially along with the lighting of Shabbos and Yom Tov candles. A new light and a new liveliness. In all the household and the entire home. Until the entire world, the entire chain order of descent. Including and starting with the true owner of the home. He desired to have a home down here below. Until the perfection of the light of Mashiach, which we said, the light makes the home beautiful. The Ruchai, the Rebbe connected, the spirit has to do with the idea of scent. It's also the spirit of King Moshiach. The Geulah, and the true and complete redemption, that will come in the merit of the righteous women, like we mentioned right away at the beginning of the Sikh. The Rebbe says in a footnote that Moshiach is a Rosh Tevis of the name of Chaya Mushka that passed away, Chaya Mushka Schneerson. So you have over there plus an additional letter Yud, because the Frierdiker Rebbe's yahrzeit was on the 10th of Shevat, and the Rebbe connects it also with Shliach, B'Gematria Chomish. We'll stop over here.